Cool. There we go. Now we have some footage. Well, I have loads of cameras already running here, but now
Yes.
you can also see me in this sort of webcam mode. Hi, Fredrik.
Good morning.
Good that we could finally.
How is Stockholm this morning or this
Stockholm
afternoon?
is fantastic. It's a bit hectic. It's the last couple of hours before 3 weeks of vacation. So Sweden in general is quite silent right now. Everyone's already on vacation, so it's been quite nice. How's Seattle?
Oh, Seattle is this is the best time of the year to be in Seattle. July, August it's absolutely beautiful. Weather is often nice, and it's camping season, so good time to be here.
Nice. What's the temperature like right now in Seattle?
Oh, it's probably anywhere between 70s and 80s. So that's
Oh yeah, Fahrenheit doesn't make any sense.
Right. So, but sometimes up towards close to 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Cool. So, Fredrik, I've connected a robot in my workshop. I have loads of cameras set up, showing everything live, but we're also recording our screens so we can get this cut together. There's nothing super interesting about the robot itself right now. There's a tool in the hand of it, but you will not be able to use it because we're using some of the pneumatics for another system. But I figured let's just show people what's possible to do with Olis Connect. Because this morning I've picked up and I've installed the Olis Connect software and everything related to it. I will show everyone in a second what that entitles. And I figured if you just share your screen and connect to my robot via Tailscale VPN.
So I'm actually using the browser plugging in OBS to record right now because it's more performant. So I was going to actually skip sharing if that's okay with you.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
so
fine.
will you grab the video from that recording? Because
cool.
You have an Olis Connect view pulled up as well, right? So you can see what's going on there.
I can do that. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see.
I mean, I can share my screen. I just don't think it would be very good footage, regardless.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I got it here. I have now my robot, but I'll not go into the operator view because you'll be doing that.
Correct.
Cool. So I'm gonna head over to the robot.
Okay.
I'll still have you in my ear, so you'll hear everything I'm saying. I'll hear everything you're saying, and I'm gonna be talking to the folks and having you do stuff while the Olis Connect window is up on my screen. So I'm bringing this GoPro with me.
Okay.
Into the workshop, and so you won't see me anymore. But now I'm in the workshop.
How far away is your laptop from the robot?
It's about 20 meters.
Oh, okay.
Or so. So, guys, what we're seeing right now is just a robot setup. We used this yesterday. If you've seen the videos, we've done some grinding applications with this setup. So it's a UR10E. It's with an MFT spindle from Shunk and some grinding tool from 3M. And what you see in addition to what you've seen before are a couple of other cameras. So you have one webcam over there. You have one webcam over there. You have one sitting up here. And all of this is connected to this little guy. This is the IPC from Olis Robotics. Well, the PC itself isn't from Olis Robotics, but their software, Olis Connect, is now hooked up to this. And this one is, sorry for the wiring, it's a bit messy in the workshop, but this one is hooked up to the network where the robot is connected as well. So the control cabinet of the of the UR is connected through Ethernet to the Olis Connect, together with a lot of other stuff. Then this guy is right now connected through Wi-Fi into the internet. And Fredrik, I guess you are now logged into my robot, right?
Correct. So I am 5,000 miles away in Seattle, and I got your robot pulled up here on my other screen.
That's pretty cool. So just feel free to move it. Oh, sorry. So what we've done now and what you see on the screen is that you can see this camera, which is like an overhead view of everything. And then we have a view down here, which is right now looking at the tool. We might as well put this one, put it on the robot arm, but I haven't had time to do a bracket for that, etc. But so this one is now looking at this one. And then we have this one over here. Hi, looking at the view from this side. This gives us 3 different angles, which means that we can look and remotely control the robot and have control of everything, not bumping into stuff, etc. And that's one of the beauties of using the Olis Connect, right, Fredrik?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the flexibility in mounting these cameras, like it just kind of depends on the application, how you want to do that. If you want to use the tripod that it comes with, I think that's great. Or you could put up 80/20 and mount them on that. It just kind of depends. I was just kind of curious. What would you like? How would you mount this if you had a little bit more time? I know you just kind of set it up today.
Yeah, so I definitely have one mounted on the actual, well, close to the TCP, but also linked to the 6th wrist of the robot, so that I would have control of all my movements if I want to do nitty-gritty stuff over remote connection. The other one is definitely something like this. I might actually put one right above the whole application, so somewhere up here, just to get a full overview of everything happening. And then I would have a peripheral view somewhere along the side to see, something that I don't see from the angle. So for example, in this case where I want to be really close to a surface, then I would have something from a peripheral view like this and really just see exactly how I'm being close up with the part itself.
And just a quick, like, how long did it actually take you to do the setup of this thing?
I mean, basically, depending on your setup, right? So if everything is very, very standard, you haven't done anything, it's basically a robot that has no UR caps, everything is just set up the way everything is straight out of the box, then it simply takes like 5 minutes. Because it's plugging in, well, the longest time is actually just unwrapping your very, very professionally packed box. So everything was very protected. It was shipped from the US, right? So we don't want anything to break in the delivery. And it's all very, very well packed. So that's actually one of the most time-consuming parts in the installation. And just a note on that is that everything you see now, and then I'm talking about, like all the cables, the cameras, everything that's entitled to or comprises the Olis Connect, that's coming in the box, in the package. So you don't need to add any stuff. You don't need to go to your local department store and get any other cables, etc. Everything is there. So it's very, very professional in that way. So show me when you move my robot. I want to see that firsthand. I mean, my guys have been standing here when I'm doing it, but it's kind of cool to see someone else do it from 5,000 miles away.
Yeah. So okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna click Operate in the Olis Connect view here.
Yeah.
And it's gonna ask me for my name first because it's the first time I use this robot. So I'm putting in Fredrik. And then I'm adding from Seattle at the end, so you will be able to see that probably on your screen even. So now, okay, so I open up here, I see a couple of cool digital IOs. I see that you're already in manual teleoperation mode, so I can just pretty much click here and drive the robot a little bit, which is pretty cool. And I notice, okay, so you have the TCP there, and then it looks like the tool is basically oriented along the Z-axis there. So if I move, if I move the blue button here, that corresponds to the Z-axis. So we can can try that, and you can see how the tool moves a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, and I can move it a little bit back there. Yeah, so it's like I'm 5,000 miles away, but honestly, like there's not really that much in terms of perceived latency here. It seems like we have a good bandwidth here. We have a good, honestly, sometimes it's just a matter of making sure you're on a good Wi-Fi network or a good wired network, and then you have this. So I can try to move a little bit. So let's see. So green there is left and right. So I can try to move a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Oh, and that one corresponds actually to this camera.
So I reversed everything. So I've reversed the setup 180 degrees to make everything correspond, and that's because of the mounting of everything. So it should. The only thing that's not going to correspond is the red arrows. That's going to be opposite.
I see. So let me try that. So there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that will be up and down there relative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and I think you could even, if you wanted to, you could actually set up a custom TCP on the robot that was perfect, because it will automatically pull all the TCPs from the UR. So if you set up one that was sort of non-standard, even maybe like at the end effector of that tool, right, at that 3M piece, we could actually drive with that as well. So, okay, this is super cool. This is a really nice setup. I love this advanced set of tooling you got here.
Yeah, it's cool because, I mean, the reason why we think that Olis Connect will complement all our integrations so well is because, like, you have this kind of setup. You set it up with a customer and everything is fine. Everyone's super happy. They're starting to use it straight out the bat, and they're just super happy. But then it goes a weekend. They come back on Monday, and it doesn't work. And it's, why is it banging into everything? Why is this not working? Why is this not working? Well, if the customer is well, not 5,000 miles away, but literally across the other side of Sweden, which would take me 5 hours to drive, I could just log into their robot, see what's happening, and tell them and guide them through it. I wouldn't even have to. I mean, I know you're going to show me when you do that, but I wouldn't necessarily need to go into the Pendant and, to help them do stuff, but I could actually just be online like we are now and help them do stuff remotely, because I'm seeing what the robot is doing, I'm seeing what they're doing, and then just guiding them, holding their hand, so to speak. So it's that's one of the benefits that I really see with Olis Connect. No matter the application, whether it's a pick and place application, or it's a grinding application, or a welding application, or whatever.
Do you think this is gonna sort of save you time with your existing customers, or is it gonna enable you to actually go farther and sort of support customers that are farther away from where you guys are?
So both. I mean, Sweden is a long country, right? So it's about 2,500 kilometers if you drive across the whole country. So it's, I mean, to be able to support customers up in Luleå on a daily basis or weekly basis, this will enable us to do that. Giving them a good on-ground support up there without any staff on premises, that wouldn't be possible. But with this kind of setup, that would definitely work. But then, we have existing installations where we have, daily calls because the customer itself, they don't feel that comfortable, or they're changing staff a lot, which means that having something like this on site when they call and we can talk about what's actually happening as it is happening, that would be just super beneficial.
Oh, it sounds super cool.
So I'm going to move over to my computer again, and I'm going to see what you're doing when you are going into, I'm thinking, show me the Pendant View in the streaming of the Pendant.
Cool. So what I do then is I pull up the Pendant View here. So I click on that hamburger menu and then Pendant, and then it says failed connect. You have a password on the do you have the standard password on the?
Yeah, the standard password, exactly.
So let me put the standard password in and go back, and you can cut that.
That's fine. I like these kinds of. It's supposed to be organic. So can I see what you're doing now when you go into the pendant?
I can just share a window here, so you can see a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, okay, so I'll move into the Google Meets tab then.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is cool because this is my pendant now. We can see up on the right-hand screen of that pendant that it's in remote mode, and that's what enabled you to actually do the remote controlling.
Right.
But right now, are you in view-only mode in the pendant, or can you actually do stuff?
Oh, I have full control here. So we put the password in and we changed it to full control. So we actually have...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we actually have full control on the pendant. Now, this robot is actually in remote mode, so I can't actually do anything at this point. What you can do, and if you deem it be a safe thing to do, you can actually take it out of remote mode, and this is why we put an extra safety barrier on it, because you might not want people to be able to go into the pendant at all, even and take it out of remote mode. So that's why we have the passport. But let's say I do that. I can switch over to local control because I have your explicit permission and
yes,
you
do.
So
well, I wouldn't go that far, but you do have my permission. It's not that I know what I'm doing. It's just I want to see it happen.
Right. Let's work through it. So you can see now there's an error in the bottom saying, hey, the UR is not in remote mode. So Olis Connect is very, very aware of this. And basically at this point, it won't let you restart any programs. It won't let you manually control or anything.
Yeah.
So it will actually
none of the stuff that would require remote mode.
Exactly.
You can now help someone to do the programming, but you cannot actually start anything without going into remote mode again.
Correct.
Yeah.
So first, here one thing we can do is obviously, we can get to see your UR caps, and we can have see the Olis Teleop UR cap here, which can be useful to kind of see all the different settings and the network setting, and you can see that now it's controlled by me. It's actually listed here, so that's kind of nice as well. You can go through and see all the different setups, or we can go and see what in terms of program what's loaded. So right now it was just the main manual Teleop program that was being loaded.
And this is loaded. You don't need to create this, right? This is as soon as I put it in a remote operator and you log in, that's already created, right? So
yeah, correct. So it gets created automatically. You set up your Olis Connect, and it gives you access to all the programs, but it also puts this manual teleoperation program on there automatically, so you don't have to do anything. Now, if you want some custom teleoperation program, we actually have the support to do that. So let's say, hey, I want every time a person goes into manual teleoperation, I want this light to be flashing. You could actually do that. You could change this and say, hey, I'm gonna set some IOs here. I'm gonna, to trigger that light and do all that stuff. And you can save that down and call it custom, my custom teleoperation program. And then that can actually be used. So that's another really cool feature that we built in, because depending on what your environment in, you might or might not want to customize that.
Yeah. Super cool. No, so what I'm seeing also is, we can of course use this for our customers and to help them, but you might also want to have, say you have a machine tending solution, and you put that on, you let it run 200 parts, and it's done. But how do you know it's done? There's no one telling you. But in this case, we would put in an Olis teleoperation with a notification email, sending an email to said user, and tell it, hey, I'm done. Please reload the parts or whatever. So that's one of the use cases where I really see the benefit of using this as well.
Right, and all you have to do that is basically go here and under the UR caps and click on this Olis teleop, and that adds the node. So let's say I wanted to add a second one here for fun. I could do that, and I could write my custom message. And actually, I really like. The touchscreen is nice, but I personally really like being able to type on my keyboard.
No, doing the programming from a keyboard is much nicer.
So you can do something like that, like all parts done, please reload, and bam, you've now enabled these type of notifications. And this can be dropped into anything. You could also use it if you have a failed grip check or a failed pressure check or something is not, like literally anything is not perfect. You should probably have say, hey, have a person take a look at this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was actually talking to a customer today about a vacuum gripper approach where, this is going to be going through 24/7, and you want to know when that vacuum suction cup is, broken and needs replacing. If you would have if the vacuum is not sufficient, then send a Tele op to check the suction cups. I mean, this is just one of the things that you could do with it, which would be very, very beneficial. So let's talk a little bit about licensing, etc., because you have multiple different licenses, right?
Yeah, so we basically have a hardware package that is
everything that we saw over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's the cameras, it's the cable, it's the unit for $949 USD. So right now I think that's the same in euros, literally.
More or less, like 10,000 Swedish.
Yeah, and then depending on what functionality you want, sort of it's ranging from monitoring and alerting all the way up to everything we're showing now, switching program, restarting robots, all that stuff. It's sort of it's between $100 and basically $449 per month.
Okay.
And there's discounts if you pay it annually, and there's volume discount things as well. But I think this is a very flexible solution where we don't want you to pay for more than you use.
No, and that's what we're seeing. I mean, basically, in our setup, we'll probably start off with the full package. Like it's going to be roughly 50,000 Swedish a year, and then once you've had that a year and you've used it, then you might not feel the need for the full version anymore because you're not using the teleoperation as much, but you're still using the monitoring and the notifications. So you can just downgrade a little bit, but still use everything. So I think it's a very good flexible setup that you got going there.
Yeah, and one thing that I actually wanted to show you was the alerts, which is kind of cool. So I don't know if you've had any alerts. Yeah, you triggered a protective stop. So I can actually see these past alerts on the device as well. So when you're remoting into a customer's and they're saying, hey, Karl, like we've been having problems all night long. The robot stopped 8 times. Like, what is going on? And you can just go in and you can check those instances and see what actually happened. You can say, oh, well, I think we need to swap out that tool, or you know, whatever it might be. And we can actually try to trigger an alert right now. So so you have your email put in there. We can keep the emails going to you. So literally, if I was just I could just jog the robot and you can hold your hand up and we can e-stop it. That would send out an alert. You want to try that?
Yeah, let's try that. So I'll put my hand next to it like so.
Okay, so I'll move it in that. I'll slow it down a little bit.
It's fine.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so now I got a protective stop notice on my screen. So I can actually see that this happened.
And the same protective stop is happening over here. So I need to enable the robot here if I want to do anything. But that's one of the beauties here. I don't actually need to do that. We can do that from over here.
Correct.
And the cool thing about this is that now once that's been triggered, it should send an email to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it takes about a minute or two for it to compress all the video. So it takes the last 30 seconds of video and it emails that out. But it should arrive on the email shortly. But in the meantime, I can go in and see what's going on here. So I can actually keep the robot locked if I'm not ready to unlock it. If this is an unfamiliar situation, I can keep the robot locked. I can look at all the cameras and say, okay, and I know that, for instance, I know that no one is in this cell. And I can look at the camera and say, you know what, it looks fine to unlock it. So I can release the brakes. And if I wanted to, I can actually go back into manual sort of remote control mode. And now I can drive the robot again.
Yeah.
So you should check your email, and maybe you should share your screen on that too. If you
it is already recorded my whole screen, so I'm just moving into the email account. No, not yet. It's probably going to take. I saw earlier today was like maybe 5 minutes from when I triggered it that the email actually ended up in my email.
It depends. You might have some antivirus scanning on your email servers that could crunch through it.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, it's almost fermented herring season. Are you fermenting right now, or what's the plan?
No, I'm not. I'm not a fermented herring person. So I really enjoy food. I really enjoy, trying out different foods. Whenever I'm abroad, that's one of the things, going into the local shops and really going through the local cuisine. But the fermented herring, I haven't been in such a context. I'd say it's a flip of a coin. Either you are a fermented herring person, whereas you're in that context, everyone's around you are having fermented herring parties, etc., or you're on the other side, which is not that you don't like it, because no one likes the smell. No one does that, but you're just not in that context where you eat it, because it's really a family specific or family related matter whether you're into fermented herring or not. So I actually received the email now.
Nice.
Olis Connect 420, that's the name of the setup here. Robot notification, protective stop triggered. Let's see. Oh yeah, so here I have some more or less GIFs showing the actual event. The past 30 seconds, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there I am, triggering it, you're moving it, boom. And these are so I have the log file as well, so I can see what's happening in the log, and down here I have the full video content that I can download. Okay, so that's why it of course took a couple of minutes, but that's really convenient.
What would it mean? Like, what's the difference from just like getting a phone call from a customer saying, "Hey, Karl, we're having a problem," versus them just forwarding you this and like, "Hey, Karl, what's going on?"
Yeah. No, of course. I mean, this is so powerful in terms of, whenever you're discussing with customers, sorry to say it, but I mean, 90% of the time it's just shit behind the wheel. That's the reason of the issue. But those 10% are the most important ones. If you can really show them that you understand the issue, you solve the issue, then you've got the customer on your side. The one that never figures it out and always triggers the protective stops, never learns. If you can help them remotely, then they'll definitely be in your corner. But so this is, of course, it's a very good, because some customers, when they call and they say, well, this is happening, you say, well, that's not possible because we've set up this point and this point. It won't go there because there's no such movement. Yes, but it's doing that. Okay, but if we would have this video showing exactly what it's doing, it's just perfect. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
and I think that's a powerful tool, like, because obviously when you deliver the system, you do some basic training, right? But it's hard to remember, and that knowledge probably declines over time, and then maybe new parts come in and things change, right? So I feel like a way for you to sort of touch base a little bit and be like, hey, maybe we should refresh some of that training, or however you want to say it.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. This, I must say, I wasn't talking to my colleagues before I decided that we should bring this on board, but now when I've showed them, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is going to help us so much. Is
that how you always do it? That you just kind of go for it?
Well, no, but so some systems are just too good to not tag along. This is that, like I said to the Universal Robots guys when I saw this, this is the best thing since sliced bread. The Olis Connect software is really gonna revolutionize this kind of remote support for robots, and not only remote support but also in-house to keep track of what's happening. Because I mean, basically what we're seeing now across Europe especially, but definitely the world, is that we do more and more automation. We do more and more, not a lot of people out on the tedious tasks. And if we have, say, 10, 15 of these collaborative robot cells standing in our factory, I mean, just having a dashboard that shows all of those, where you can see exactly what's happening. That, one guy could oversee a couple to make sure that they're running all the time. It's just brilliant. This is definitely something that's going to be used a lot.
There's a cool feature I wanted to show you. So if you went on your screen in the Olis Connect view, and I think all you have to do is to do just after the Olis Connect URL, just do /1 afterwards.
/1.
And what that should do is it should bring up just the first camera, and that means that you can actually set up a little control room if you want. If you have multiple
screens. That's nice.
And also, if you want one part of the facility for whatever reason to just always have this one camera, you pulled up at some sort of central location, so people can see it from, I don't know if you want to see it from the break room, but whatever, right? You can just say, hey, let's just keep feed number 1 running there. So it's very flexible how you can almost build. I prefer to use it on my phone and on my laptop, but if you want to use it to actually build a control room, you can.
That's cool. That's really nice. Yeah, I tried circling through the all 3 cameras while we were talking. Nice. Really, really cool stuff. Fredrik, I'm not going to keep you, and I better go home and pack for some vacation. I want to thank you for taking this time. It's been fun talking to you, and fun showing people what's actually possible.
Yeah.
Because I used this in it wasn't my intention to do it, but I had a customer discussion this afternoon with a customer from the UK doing scrap recycling, and we were talking about using a specific tool for doing element analysis with the robot. So they would load up scrap bins, and we would use a 3D vision software to detect parts, and they would pull those onto a workbench, do a test, and then sort that into a specific bin. And as you'd imagine, 3D vision, scrap bin, scrap yard, vacuum. There are multiple things that could go wrong here. But in their case, they have one shift, but this robot, it'll be going around the clock. So and then I showed them what I could do from my office on the robot, completely remotely, and they were like, oh my God, this is fantastic, because then they can truly keep their worker robot up and running all the time, even though it goes into all sorts of strange remote problems.
Have you tried it on the phone yet?
I have. Super cool. I'm definitely going to do, after the vacation, I'm going to do some, or maybe I'm going to do it from my vacation and control the robot from the phone and record that as well.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. I really like the phone experience. It's so nice to just be able to check in on the robot and just start and stop a simple program. It doesn't have the full user interface, but a lot of times you just need to know the basics, and just being able to get a very quick glance of that is valuable.
No, if you're talking to a customer and you're just bringing up the user interface on the phone, and you're actually listening to what the customer is saying, seeing the robot at the same time on the phone, that's just powerful stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
So I wish you a very, very good summer.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for this, and talk to you later.
Yeah, enjoy your vacation. Don't always connect too much.
I will try not to.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.